In the parking lot at Nantasket Beach, a flock of gulls appeared. And as Susan was getting out of her car, they hovered and fluttered and cheered. The gulls cried, "Hooray for Susan! She's our faithful friend. She always brings food for us. On Susan we can depend." I watched as Susan opened her bag and tossed crust of bread in the air. Some gulls waited for the crust to fall, but one grabbed a piece from her hair. "Gulls will eat crackers," one gull said to me, "or gulls will eat stale crust of bread." But Susan knows these snacks aren't nutritious. We'd rather have seafood instead. Oh look, she's opening cans of sardines and albacore tuna fish. She's spreading sardines on a bed of seaweed and serving the tuna in a stoneware dish. And then the gull flew over to Susan, landing quite close to her feet, joining the group of hungry gulls who were waiting for something delicious to eat.
Alone, I walked on Nantasket Beach, inhaling salty breezes, when next to me, a boulder moved. I also heard two sneezes. I looked more closely at the rock, and then it spoke to me.
Got a tissue for my nose? I'm a mermaid from the sea. I'd rather swim beneath the waves and not be here on land, but till the tide is high again, I'm neck deep in the sand. You may not know that we are cursed with brown and slimy locks. And when our tresses get too long, they tangle in the rocks. So every month we come ashore to get a needed trim and a color tub of neon green. And then away we swim.
On Nantasket Beach, strange sights you'll see.
Sights you'll see.
The strangest of all,
Most of all,
was staring at me.
stared at me.
An eye open wide,
Open wide
peered out from the sand,
from the sand.
and then reached out.
Then walked out.
A four-fingered hand.
It's a hand.
The hand grabbed my leg,
Grab my leg.
and it wouldn't let go.
Won't let go.
So I moved my leg,
Move my leg.
and it grabbed my big toe.
Grab my toe.
The sand started rippling,
Rippling sand.
and part of an ear,
It's an ear.
a nose, and a mouth
Nose and mouth.
began to appear.
To appear.
I'm a sandlocked pirate
Pirate man.
that needed some help.
Need some help.
I was swept off my ship
On my
and
ship.
I was tangled in kelp,
Caught in
and
kelp.
my pinky was bit
Pinky bit.
by a small hungry shark.
Hungry
And
shark.
then he said he was sorry.
Sorry shark.
Couldn't see in the dark.
In the dark.
And then the surf dropped me here.
Drop me here.
And then I couldn't get free.
Won't get free.
And with each wave, the sand buried me.
Bury me.
I pulled on his arm,
Pulled it out.
and injured my shoulder.
Shoulder pain.
Not a wise move
Not wise move.
for a lady who's older.
too
Hey.
old.
I have to admit,
Must admit,
I'm not very strong.
not that strong.
So we were in luck
We're in luck.
when Steve came along.
Came along.
Steve, who's a pirate,
Pirate Steve.
you can tell by his shirt.
See his shirt.
He moved his co-pirate
But his Steve
without getting hurt.
was not hurt.
Thank you, Steve,
Thank you, Steve.
for setting me free.
Set me free.
And let's go find my ship
By my
and
ship.
sail it out to the sea.
Out to the sea.
The ending is happy.
Happy day.
So kudos to Steve.
Kudos, Steve.
And I've got more tales.
Got more tales.
You wouldn't believe.
Would not believe.
I've got more tales.
Got more tales.
You would not believe.
Would not believe.
I was eating my lunch on Nantasket in Hull when I heard the peep-peep of a young herring go while watching me nibble crisp French fries and cheese. The herring gun said, "May I have a bite, please?"
My mother has left me alone on this beach without any breakfast or lunch within reach. But she told me to reach in a beach lady's purse and to steal all her snacks. Oh, it gets even worse. Mom also did teach me to steal in my phone, and she'd order her takeout and eat all alone.
Feed us, feed us, feed us, there's nothing to steal. Feed us, feed us, feed us, we need a good meal.
We are hungry little goats. We are hungry little goats. We are hungry little goats. We are hungry little goats.
Mom also did teach me to strengthen my wings by dabbling folks eating fried onion rings. But the beach is so empty, there's nothing to steal out of open beach totes. What will be my next meal?
I said, "Don't eat French fries, onion rings, chips, or cheese. I'll show you much healthier Gulf foods than these." The easiest thing for a young girl to grab is a soft-shell crustacean that we call a crab. I said, "Flip it over, just poke with your beak. It's tasty to eat, a good gull meal to seek. It's harder to harvest a Nantasket clam, but it's much better eaten than fried food and ham."
Well, I thank you. These foods I will try, but before I get going, may I have a fry?
Feed us, feed us, feed us, there's nothing to steal. Feed us, feed us, feed us, we need a good meal.
We are hungry little goats. We are hungry little goats. We are hungry little goats. We are hungry little goats.
The next time you meet a young gull on the beach, resist the temptation to lecture and preach. If a gull peeps for breakfast, just give him a snack. tide pool, stumbling on a shell. I heard an angry voice cry out,
You cracked it, what the hell? Hey! You gotta pay! Hey, 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 hey! You gotta pay!
I felt a pinch on my left heel, right on a painful scab. I looked down in the water and I saw a hermit crab.
Hey! You gotta pay! Hey, 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 hey! You gotta pay!
The tiny crab waved at me, a gesture that was rude. I understood that I had caused his hostile attitude.
Hey! You gotta pay!
I heard.
Hey, 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 hey! You gotta pay!
I'm sorry that I cracked your shell. I'll help you find another.
Rare, good shells are rare, you just go find another. Hey! You gotta pay! Hey, 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 hey! You gotta pay! It took me weeks to find the shell, but it was occupied. I had to wait until the snail got sick and finally died. Hey! You gotta pay! Hey, 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 hey! You gotta pay! Then I dragged his body out and tried to test, but his shell went perfectly much better than the rest. Hey! You gotta pay! Hey, 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 hey! You gotta pay!
I asked what size and shape worked best, what color, style, and style. I didn't do a search on my iPhone, it may take me a while.
Hey! You gotta pay! Hey, 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 hey! You gotta pay!
I went to rentashell.net and found the perfect shell. Available for lease right now, the crab said.
You did well, hey! You gotta pay!
No.
Hey, 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 hey! You gotta pay! And I'll need another rental in a few months when I grow. So if you see a real good shell, will you please let me know? Hey! I'll even pay! Hey, 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 hey! I'll even pay!
On Nantasket Beach, I met the owners of rentashell.net. They were wearing matching t-shirts with designs I won't forget. Printed on the front and back was a giant spiral shell advertising their online biz, rentals, and merch to sell. Shelley and John, rentashell.net. My name is Susan Lee. If you're dropping off a snail shell here, it's probably for me. I leased a shell for a hermit crab. I wrecked the one he had. Thank you for your quick response. The crab will be so glad.
We never used to rent a shell. We'd only do a sale. But many crabs would buy a shell and return it in the mail. We would take shells from Nantasket Beach when they're very nice. But if there's a chip or a crack, the customer won't look twice.
You know, surf clam shells, we sanitize and we kill the smell with bleach. We sell big shells to those who paint and also to those who teach.
Oh, have you met a teacher here? She's fun. Her name is Liz.
Oh, yes.
Yeah,
She gives her
something like
shells
that,
to
yeah.
kids, so we know exactly who
Yeah.
she is.
Here you go.
Thank you.
Oh, and
What? What?
before you go,
What?
we would like to like your rhyme and post that photograph of yours posted on your website. Our customers would laugh.
Okay. There you go.
That was a good idea. I'm just trying to... Dang, you're stepping on my toothpick. Jesus. It's really straight. It's literally
I
straight.
saw
This
strange
is-
designs in Nantasket Beach. I counted at least 8 or 9. Each was a shell that led to a heart. Someone shouted,
Your seascape is grand! But before the tide is high again, come see my designs in the sand.
The artist was working on a skyscape, and she said, let me just finish this patch and I'll put my gear in the cart.
And she followed the snail to see the designs, admiring every twist and turn. And she said, I didn't really know that snails did this much art. Please, why did you learn? And the snail said,
My name is Moon Snail Sam, and I don't make art for fun. I glide up and down the beach each day, leaving trails in the blazing sun. I sell trail designs to the clams I find. The smart ones are willing to pay. If not, I drill a hole in their shell, and then they become my prey. I suck the meat right out of the shell. It's like an oyster bar. On a good day, there's plenty of clams. I don't have to travel far. After eating my fill of Nantasket clams, I wash each empty shell. And through each hole, I pull the string. Shell jewelry I do sell.
The snail attached its muscular foot to the barefoot artist's big toe.
Will you spy a shell bracelet or necklace from me?
oh yeah.
Before you go?
Oh yeah.
And not wanting to fail the moon snail's drill, the artist reached for her purse.
she paid for the necklace of Nantasket shells because saying no would have felt so much worse.
The tide was high on Nantasket Beach, so I walked on the sand near the rocks. A crab with one claw was sketching a scene on a boulder with black and brown chalks. Hey, are you pinched? Did I see you last week? Tangled in a fishing line.
Yes, oh yes, but I cut myself free. Lost one claw, otherwise fine. Lost one claw, otherwise fine. It's lucky my mother taught me to sketch. I'm such a task I can do with one claw. Nantasket people love to watch me work. They've never seen a crab draw.
What is your reason for doing this art? How does it help you survive?
Folks bring me food I can eat with one claw. That's how I'm staying alive. That's how I'm staying alive. Egg McMuffin and coffee to go. I've expanded my Nantasket palate. I've even learned to love romaine lettuce and tomatoes on a garden salad. In a year or two, my claw will grow. Then I'll open a mussel shell and consume all the foods that crabs really crave, like mussels and oysters as well. Like mussels and oysters as well. Like mussels and oysters as well.
designs on Nantasket Beach. I spotted at least 8 or 9. Each one was a spiral that led to a heart. And someone shouted,
Those designs are mine!
"God, it's her again." I looked down and saw a moon snail, the largest one I've ever seen. Its shell was at least 3 inches across. It was kind of gray and seaweedy green.
My name is Moon Snail Sam, and we've met before.
I know.
You admired my sand snail trail art. I've prospered since then, and grown quite a bit, thanks to new designs of a heart. Dog owners just love my new designs. They take photos with their dogs, and they pay. Now, instead of combing the beach for surf clams, I eat in a restaurant almost every day. Fried clams, fresh mussels, haddock or scrod, any seafood I could possibly want. And as you can see from the size of my shell, I'm well fed, not at all gut. The surf clams are happy. I leave them alone. Some of them are now my friends. They come and take selfies with me. On cash payments, my future depends. Whoa.
On Nantasket Beach, a wind from the north whistled in my ear.
I'm coming in strong on this sunny day, and I'm happy to see you here. Most walkers turn back when I'm blowing sand, but you photograph sand as art. Clouds and waves get widespread acclaim, but you fill my beating heart. My name is George Gershwind. Wind. Once known for rhapsody and song, but now my medium is the wind. Gentle puffs and gusts that are strong. I've seen sand forests where tree trunks tilt left and right, the tide streaming down this sandy slope by my windy mights. And the surf pounds the shore with much greater force. And the curl of the wave blows back towards the sea. When you charge west like a beast. And the clouds, stormy, puffy white, stormy dark, moves and changes shape. And now I make arts with sand, clouds, and waves. But most people think I'm a pain. I've brung in blizzards, tornadoes, hurricanes too, and snow, sleet, hail, and rain. But, tell your friends and run and ditch the expression, "Oh, it just blew me away." When you wouldn't walk Nantasket Beach on a slightly breezy day.
Oh, look. Above the beach, a pair of wings were fluttering in the sky. Attached to the wings was a pot-bellied pig, and of course I had to know why. The cute porcine pet wore a harness of red with a clasp which held on to him tight. And as he scored, he grinned and squealed like a pig, enjoying his very first flight. When the pig landed roughly upon the sand, his shell wings fell off, oh well. But when he went to pick them up, he clumsily stepped on one shell. Whoops.
Oh no, how awful, now what shall I do? It's crushed and I need a pair. Exactly matched to fly me home is how I'll get up in the air. My name is Hamilton, my owner calls me Ham. If I don't get home before supper time, he'll think that I'm on the lam.
I said, let's walk along the beach, perhaps we'll find a mate. But don't give up hope if we don't find a match, another shell pair might work great.
I always wanted to walk the beach, but my owner said no. I always pray before I sleep, wishing that I could go. In my sweet dreams an angel appeared and promised to fly me there. She said I'd be queasy like most pigs are, but I told her I just didn't care.
The pig and I walked along the beach and entered a forest of sand. The trees were carved by the Nantasket tides, a magical, mystical land. On a stone in the forest we found a pair of wings of the angel clam. The pig put it on and then flew away, and I waved goodbye to Ham. I'll always remember that eye-catching sight of a pot-bellied pig in the sky. The next time someone is doubtful and says, oh yeah, when pigs fly. Oh yeah, when pigs fly. I saw a large horse at Nantasket, enjoying a stroll on the sand. I asked the ranger why he was there. She said the trip wasn't planned.
Ben and Dewey were at our stables in Milton today, and we got a phone call today. We were asked to find 2 horses in Hull. Last night they had gotten away. They escaped from just across the park from the Paragon Park Carousel. For years they had pulled the Roman chariot, but recently they were not doing well. Kids were free to ride the chariot. The horses bucked and jumped. A little girl slid right out of her seat when the chariot tilted and bumped. Chariot cornucopia maiden.
dropped fruit all over the floor. And as soon as the carousel closed for the night, the 2 horses ran out the door.
We want to be jumpers, if you let us. Jumpers can go up and down. We're sick and tired of pulling a chariot. Just going around and round.
Okay, we could use 2 horses who want to go up and down. We'll let Ben and Dewey drive the chariot this summer and ride you 2 horses through town.
Nay!
So don't be surprised if carousel horses are marching in summer parades, and 2 ranger horses pull a Roman chariot on a merry-go-round in the shade. Get away from there. I saw young herring gulls on the beach, and they were all alone. No parents to show them the ropes, how to hunt or pull fish from a bone. I asked one, "Where's your parents gone?"
Oh, Dad's off getting us lunch. I think it's gonna be something like hot dogs and chips or burgers. I gotta hunt.
Well, what about Mom? Where is she gone?
It's Saturday.
Okay.
It's the one day of the week the mothers all go on a girlfriend's getaway. Yeah, the mothers all go up to North Nantasket to practice their girl lullabies. You know, they sit on the rocks or bob in the surf to solo and harmonize.
Well, I just had to see and hear this for myself and take a picture or 2 of the mother gulls singing in harmony, "I'll be seeing you." So next time you come on a Saturday, remove the bud from your ear and listen to the girl gulls sing the best songs you'll ever hear. Ooh, look who I found. I met a president on the beach, initials FDR. He waved and winked and smiled at me and asked me how things are. I said, well, the mermaids are on trend. They've dyed their hair bright green. And the herring gulls are eating fried fast food, fattest gulls I have ever seen. And more hermit crabs are inhabiting tidal pools. And some of them steal shells with live snails. They just don't follow rules. Oh, and Moonshell Sam is hunting clams every day and night. And a pot-bellied pig with clam wings was seen enjoying his very first flight. But what about you, Mr. Roosevelt? How do you feel imprisoned in that dime? Wouldn't you rather go for a walk or come shopping with me sometime?
Keep me out of the retail shops, where a dime won't buy a thing.
It's true.
I'd rather stay here, on the beach, to hear the mermaids sing. I may get washed out with the tide, and that's okay with me. There's no better place to spend my days than Nantasket Beach or the sea.
Come on with me. Come on.
On Nantasket Beach,
On the beach,
street sights you'll see,
the sights you will see.
the strangest of all
Yes, most of all,
was staring at
you
me,
stared at me.
and I opened wide,
I opened wide
steered out from the sand,
from the sand,
and then popped out
then popped out
a 4-fingered hand.
with its a hand.
Looked down in the water where I saw a hermit crab. Hey, you gotta pay. Hey, 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 you gotta pay.
The tide was high on Nantasket Beach, so I walked on the sand near the rocks. A crab with one claw was sketching a scene on a boulder with black and brown chalks.
Hey, all you pitched in a sea last week.
Hey, the little fishing line.
Yes, said the crab, I cut myself free.
Lost one claw, otherwise fine.
Lost one claw, otherwise fine.
I was eating my lunch on Nantasket in Hull
When I heard the peep peep of a young herring gull,
while watching me nibble crisp French fries and cheese. The herring gull said, "May I have one bite, please?"
feed us,
Feed
us, there's nothing to see. Feed us, feed us, feed us, we need a good meal.
Above the beach, a pair of wings was fluttering in the sky. Attached to the wings was a pot-bellied pig, and of course I had to know why. The cute porcine pet wore a harness of red, with a flask that held on to him tight. He grinned and he whined and he squealed like a pig, enjoying his very first flight. They're everywhere. A girl flew a kite on the beach at Nantasket, but something just didn't look right. At first the kite soared left and right in the sky, then it suddenly dropped out of sight. The kite didn't fall to the beach below. It vanished into thin air. 1 minute here, the next minute, poof, and replaced by a gull. Look up there. I yelled to the girl, "Where's your kite? Do you have it there in your hand?" She said,
No, let me explain. Then you'll understand.
she raised one arm with her kite string still, and she said,
That's my herring gull Fred. She injured her wings, so I took her home. But my mother found it. And she said, You can't bring that gull into the house. Well, it can't stay here tonight. We went back to the beach where the gull taught me magic. How to turn it in.
You can fly me as a kite that your mother will let you take home. I can heal as a kite. And then when I'm ready to roam, say abracadabra, and the kite will be gone, replaced by a gull who can fly. And you'll be left holding a very long string while I bid you a grateful goodbye.
Bye.
so if you see a kite at Nantasket, remember, it could be a gull who's on the mend from some injury. Could happen, but only in Hull. As I wandered on the beach, I was quite surprised to see a dozen tiny clear-billed gel shoots that looked like vitamin D. The tide has washed them on the beach, and they glittered by the shore. And as I walked along the beach, I noticed many more. What could it be?
What could they be? What could they be?
soft like jello. I rub them in my seaweed locks. It always attracts a fellow.
What could it be? What could it be?
What could it be?
S-A-L-P.
Salps are luminescent. In the dark, they glow bright blue. So when I rub them in my scalp, my tresses will glow too. And as the sun is setting, I don't have to wait too long before a sailor sees my glow and hears my mermaid song.
What did they see? What did they see? What did they see? S-A-L-P.
Some sailors take me on a cruise. They serve me crumpets and tea. But others try to steal myself so they can glow like me. But it's not good for sailors to have hair that glows bright blue. Unless you sing a mermaid song, there's nothing to save you.
What did you do? What did you do? What did you do? Did you glow blue?
Sea monsters swimming in the dark are in search of bright blue prey. Without the protection of a mermaid song, you just can't get away. So if you see a mermaid glow blue, be kind and offer a cruise. But don't ever try to take herself. For sailors, it's always bad news.
Offer a cruise, still you won't lose. South is bad news.
Nothing coming.
Oh, I saw Pirate Steve on the beach again, sobbing, broken-hearted. His pet herring gull had been lost in a storm. He feared she was dearly departed.
That's so funny.
I said, "What happened to your parrot? Isn't that a pirate's pet?"
I had a parrot, but one I'd like to forget. I found the parrot in Florida when we were sailing south, but when we sailed back north, boy, he had a mouth. The bird told my shipmates where to go, and that place wasn't Hull. He flew away, and we were glad. And then I got a gull. The herring gull would fly to shore and bring us bags of chips. She even fetched a plastic bag containing tasty dips.
Nice.
She didn't really say much, but she really could sing. Lullabies, Broadway hits, sea shanties, everything. I sailed the seas for 7 years with my gull Daisy May, and then last week a storm came up and blew her far away.
I said to Steve, "You're in luck. Today is Saturday, the day when girl gulls gather for a Gull Friends getaway. Walk north along Nantasket Beach as far as you can go, and you'll hear the mellifluous sounds of Daisy May's tremolo.
A young girl was casting for stripers when she felt a tug on the lines. She leaned back and struggled to reel in her catch, but the line snapped, not a good sign. Then a gray horse emerged from the billowing waves, sounding a tremulous,
Nay, watch what you're doing. You scratched my mane. It must get repainted today. Tomorrow, I am scheduled to go back to work, and I have to really look good. I'm a horse from Peregrine Park Carousel with a mane and body of wood.
Then why are you here? It doesn't make sense. Did someone throw you into the sea, or did you lump them?
I'm a horse from, I literally prance in a circle all day with little kids kicking my side. If you had to do this, you would run to the beach or some other place to hide. And, oh my God, in the Calliope music. It's worse than bagpipes. It's worse than a bad marching band. And we all thought that this gig would be oodles of fun, right? But the music, we horses can't stand. Shut up! Are you gonna tell me to, you know what, matter of fact, listen, why don't you please help me escape? Because I really don't want to go back. And take me to Plain Ridge Park where I can bet at the track.
Let's go.
Walking barefoot on the beach, I love the feel of sand. The gentle grains massage my soul just like I had planned. Then I got to rocks and shells. Oh no, I left my shoes in my beach bag on my back porch. Now I'd have to choose.
You gotta choose. You gotta choose.
Retrace my steps and go back home or walk in misery. Oh, but wait, what do I see ahead? Some slipper shells for me. I'll just slide my foot inside and see, oh, it's too tight. Well, I'll just get another one and that shell will fit right.
You gotta choose.
Slippers.
You gotta choose.
I grabbed the shell to yank it off, but it won't budge, it's stuck. I pulled and cursed all along, but I'm just out of luck. I know just who I should call, she'll know just what to do. Mom could always fix my hair when it was stuck with glue.
You gotta choose. Slipper shall lose.
Mom said, come and have a soup, sip a chicken soup homemade. Soup was good, but on my foot that slipper shell just stayed. I drove down to CVS to see what I could buy. Some slippery soap or aloe cream or something else to try.
As you walk on Nantasket Beach at low tide, you will meet the Mayor of Rills. A job that requires patience, persistence, and first-rate time management skills. Rills are channels carved into the sand as the water flows back into the sea. And each rill creates exquisite sand forests. Or so it was told to me. Each sand forest is a work of art, as great as Van Gogh's Starry Night. Art lovers come from around the world to photograph each ephemeral sight. Every 12 hours, when the tide comes in, these sand forests wash away. But until that happens, I do my best to keep people and dogs at bay. Walkers trample these great works of art. Don't they see them? I don't understand. But I get them to look by slowing them down in patches of sinking quicksand. When people get stuck, well, I help them out and show them the sand forest nearby. Some people look and admire the art, but not all. Well, at least I try. In a few hours, my tenure ends, and I will also be washed out to sea. And then the next Mayor of Rills is in charge, protecting each sand forest tree.
As I was walking on Nantasket Beach, I saw a familiar sight. A pot-bellied a pot-bellied pig with angel clam wings on a low-altitude flight. I'd met the pig 2 months ago. When he landed on the sand and crushed one of his delicate wings, I'd offered to give him a hand. Together we found an angel wing clamshell. It fit him. It was the right size. The pig put it on and flapped his wings, and it worked after only 2 tries. When the pig named Hamilton saw me again, he landed quite close to the spot where I sat, and he opened a bag to show me what he had bought.
I went to the Wellspring thrift shop in Hull to buy something nice for my bed, like warm flannel sheets and pillowcases. But look what I got instead. I bought a pillow with a flying pig on it. Cool. To mark my visit here. Of all the bargains in the store, it's the very best souvenir. You see, my pot-bellied friends don't believe I can fly. They really don't think it's true. But when they see this pig on my pillow, they'll believe and want to fly too.
Bye. Nice day. On Nantasket Beach, a lone seagull was facing the blowing sand. Was the gull injured or sick and in need of a helping hand? "Are you okay?" I asked the gull. He said, "Well, I'm lovesick, but otherwise fine. I need some peace and quiet to write a note to my Valentine."
I'm in love with a herring singing gull. Her name is Daisy May. I want her to be my lifetime mate, but I don't know what to say. She lives aboard a ship that was recently blown ashore, and I heard Daisy May sing a sweet lullaby, and I want to hear many more. But
It's all right, just take your time and tell me.
But Daisy May flew back to the ship, to the pirate that she lived with, named Steve. So, I really don't know if a Valentine could really persuade Daisy May to leave.
I have a suggestion, my dear lovesick gull. Perhaps you could join her and sing. Bird singing duets are trending on TikTok. It could be just the thing. Or wait. The pirates would love you. I have an idea. You could be their Oliver Twist. Bring them food and money and iPhones from beach bags, anything on their list.
Good idea, my dear. I wish I could have thought of doing this much sooner. I'm going to write Daisy May a sweet lullaby and practice being a crooner.
Will the gull write a song? Will he learn to sing well? Will he be Daisy May's faithful beau? Will they love to live at sea? The outcome? I really don't know.
It's time for the wedding, come on. We have to go.
No.
We have to go. Please.
All right.
Thank
You
you.
have to tell me such a...
Please.
Two gulls were strolling on Nantasket Beach. Can you guess where they were heading?
The same place I was going to, a mermaid seaside wedding.
Here comes the bride, here comes the bride, groom by your side, before high tide.
I met the mermaid a few weeks ago when she was up to her neck in the sand. She was drying her green-dyed locks in the sun. Her regular color is bland.
Comes the bride, here comes the bride, groom by your side, before high tide.
You're the star. You're the star.
When the tide came in, she found a sailor washed up on the beach.
His boat had been pushed onto the rocks by the surf. His boat was out of reach.
Here comes the bride, here comes the bride, groom by your side, before high tide.
That's good. That's good.
Yeah,
What?
You're up,
No,
Charlie.
no.
I'm next.
Oh yeah.
The pair fell in love, the pair fell in love, and the sailor proposed. He gave her a necklace of shells. And each tiny shell had a snail hole for a string, and when she moved, they tinkled like bells.
Here comes the bride. Here comes the bride. Groom by your side. Before high tide.
Oh, come on.
Do
Fine. For her wedding bouquet, instead of flowers, she carried a sea bouquet. Or that is her two girlfriends had gathered the seaweed and shells in pink, white, and gray. Here comes the bride, here comes the bride, groom by her side, before high tide.
Her bridal gown was shimmering fish scales embellished with lacy seaweed.
Instead of a veil, she wore a crown of driftwood and glass beads.
horse wore a stylish black tux, but the tux was frosted with salt. The ocean was choppy and splashed his sleeves. It really wasn't his fault. Here comes the bride. Here comes the bride. Groom by her side. Before I died.
Show off.
I have to do that. I have
That's
to do
fine,
that.
yeah, nobody should do that. You're going next.
Yeah.
The couple fell in love and until death do us apart in the castle of sand. They danced to the music of a young hearing singing gull who had a clamshell band.
Here comes the bride. Here comes the bride. Groom by her side before high tide.
Yeah, figures it's always me. The guests were treated to an open sandbar, hors d'oeuvres and rare roast beef.
But not one dish of seafood was served. There was quarterly.
Here comes the bride.
Here comes the bride, groom by her side, before I died.
Seriously?
The party was over, and the tide had turned. The groom had a silvery sheen. But before bride and groom could sail away, something happened no one had foreseen. Here comes the bride. Here comes the bride. Groom by her side. It's now high tide.
A series of earthquakes offshore created an undertow. And before they knew it, the mermaid was gone, pulled out with the flow.
Here comes, there goes the bride. There goes the bride. There goes the bride with the high tide.
This is a very sad song.
The groom was shocked and broken-hearted. He sailed to search for his bride. He said,
My life is not worth living without her by my side.
there goes the bride. There goes the bride. Gone with the tide. The bridegroom cried.
But wait. Did the groom find his bride? Did they perish at sea? Did they sail to some distant shore? I don't know for certain, but a friend of mine said she saw them buying flippers in a sporting goods store. A friend saw the bride, groom by her side, here on the shore, in a sporting goods store.
While walking on Nantasket Beach, I was feeling kind of sad. So when I saw a surf clam there, I asked a question that I had. Hey, Mr. Clam, are you really happy? Happy as a clam? I want to know your secret because happy is not what I am.
No, I'm not very happy. That expression is quite misleading. There's never a time when surf clams are happy, not even when we're feeding. Surf clams eat tiny plants that float in the salty sea. They're not tasty like lobster Newburgh or fresh sea bass fricassee. Imagine your life at an all-veggie soup bar, where you sip bland mush through a straw. And while we're at lunch, schools of fish try to eat us. Clam life isn't much of a draw. If the fish don't get us, fishermen will. With a dredge, they scrape the seafloor. But at low tide, predators try and get us. Sneaky moon snails, hungry gulls, and more. If we sit on the beach to try and enjoy the sun, gulls swoop down to attack. And if we have a very tough shell, they'll drop us on the pavement to crack. Gulls, of course, can't fly at night, so you'd think we'd be safe on the beach. Not from sneaky moon snails who hunt at night. We can hide in the sand, but we're never out of reach. Yeah, sneaky moon snails, they slurp with no remorse. The only way to escape is to get on a surfboard or even a very fast horse.
So the next time you wish you were happy as a clam, remember, you'll always be blue. And if you ask us Nantasket Surf Clam, they'll say,
I'd rather be happy as you.